Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Eliza and welcome back to Stoneblock 3. In the last episode, we were mostly doing some questing with Create. We completed the Create chapter. Spoilers for what we're going to be doing today. And we were also working on some other just kind of basic cleanup stuff. I've been wanting to work on this thing, which should work. I think we got to do a little bit of work. This is the Cobbleworks, so this is going to take cobblestone and turn it into sand, gravel, dirt, glass, and stone, and put all of that into our system. There's a couple things I kind of forgot to do, but I mean, we'll get to it. So, yeah, I guess that's where we're going to start. Last time I had said that the plan for this episode was going to be we need to get blazes. We need to get a lot of blazes and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, it's not going to work that well. There are some things that we can do to make it better though. And so we're going to work on that today instead. So the plan for today is to basically complete the Mob Grinding Utilities chapter, except for this. We're not going to worry about that right now. And the reason being is because there's a lot of things we can do that's going to make our lives a lot easier. And it is going to require us to hammer out some more space. Our hammer is almost broken, but I can actually repair it with amethyst bronze. It just takes a lot. But, I mean, amethyst and copper, I will gladly deal with that. So, yeah. First things first, today what we're going to do, we're going to finish the Cobbleworks and get that working. Now, do I have some obsidian? I have 2. We need to get, I don't know if I have any more ender tanks. It'd be nice if we did. But I don't believe we do, which is unfortunate, because ender tanks is how we're going to be dealing with some stuff. Getting lava where we need it. So let's open these. Not really that interesting. The clay is always going to be just like clay. I think it probably has a chance of giving us something else, but I don't know if that's in this pack. If you remember in Stoneblock 2, there was a clay that was like super high EMC, and it was very difficult to make, but it was very useful. Yeah, that doesn't exist in this one. So, let's real quick, can we make an ender tank? Or actually 2. Requires obsidian. Alright, so I have 1 magma block. I haven't, like, dealt with that whole situation yet. But that is on the to-do list. That is on the docket of things to work on. Let's go ahead and just get some lava dripping, and that should be automatic. Perfect. So eventually I can get some things going on with that and it'll work great, but 2 buckets will get us a good bit. I do want to grab some magma blocks because I want to make another flux point, because we need to get power to our furnaces. So I have 2 furnaces hooked up. Power will go right here. I think it's the easiest way for right now. And let's make one thing, and then I'll explain the Cobbleworks, and we'll get that taken care of, and then move on to the Mob Grinding Utilities. So, what we need is this thing called a iron downgrade. So, functional storage has downgrades. And you're probably wondering, why would you ever want to restrict how many items can be stored in a drawer? Well, in this case, I want to restrict how many items are in this drawer because I only want a stack of each max. This is going to prevent basically this running a lot longer than it needs to make, you know, we're going to fill up on gravel pretty quickly, you know, so we don't want 500 gravel in here and like 5 sand. So if we restrict this, it means that more gravel will go other places when that time comes. So this can now only hold a stack of items, and that is exactly what we want. Now we also do need to configure it so that it locks, so that it can only hold gravel, sand, dirt, and glass. Now, this has been a pain because I can't use basic logistical transporters, which, by the way, I need to grab the configurator so that we can do this to both of these things. I'll deal with that in a second, but I want to make sure it works first. So we can't use logistical transporters without the it's over there, but the the thing that does the thing, what is it called? That thing right there, that block is called a logistical sorter. We can't do round robin with a logistical sorter, and we want to do round robin because we want cobblestone to be made into stone and gravel. We want gravel to be stored and turned into dirt. We want dirt stored and turned into sand. We want sand stored and turned into glass. Glass just gets stored. So we need to use item pipes, but item pipes are terrible. I'm going to be blunt. They're terrible. They don't work like they're supposed to most of the time. I had it set up so that this was going to a very specific location, and when I turned it on, it went to all valid locations and not just the specific one, and it's annoying. So I'm hoping this works the way I hope it, like the way I've got it set up. But basically, cobblestone gets generated here, put here, turned into stone, and then put through this auto hammer, which will crush it into gravel. Gravel is extracted here, and this thing is on round robin. All of the item pipes are on round robin, and this one will hopefully put some gravel here and the rest in here. This makes dirt from gravel get extracted, and this should put it here. It shouldn't go into the furnace because not only is the furnace only output on the top, but also it's got its own extraction. So it should go here, and this should make sand from dirt, extract it, put some in here, put some in here. So hopefully this all works. Now what we can do is we just turn it on, and the cobblestone is in there, and the cobblestone is filled up with that. That was very quick. Stone is going to fill up very quickly, and then we have a basic logistical transporter here, and this goes into the controller. Same with this one. This one will get extracted, but we'll see that in a moment. So, are we getting dirt? We are getting dirt. We are getting sand. Are we getting sand in here? Yes. Are we getting sand in here? Perfect. Everything looks like it's working. So, we can just go ahead and start extracting this, and presumably it will never try to extract. So once it runs out of the glass, it won't try to extract the gravel because gravel is full in here. So because we have max gravel, we don't have to worry about it. Perfect. It works. It works. Now, do we have... we're going to teach the system how to make a flux plug, by the way. So let's go ahead and do that. I also taught it how to make the item logistical transporters, these things. And eventually we're going to take out these. I'm going to keep them for now, but we can take out the patterns for all this stuff. We can... Steel dust, steel grit. Oh, that needs to be changed. Make a steel grit for me, and then I will change that because that should be not steel dust. Alternative. Is there a thing? I didn't know I could do this. Steel grit, apply. Okay, it didn't apply. I don't know. Cancel. Okay, we'll get some steel grit, which we do. already have, and we can do that. Okay, so that should now make steel. Perfect. Okay, so we want to teach the system how to make the flux point. That part is easy. These are also easy, and for right now we just need to teach it that, make sure it knows how to make the eye of Ender, and we can just dump those in there. And then can we, it probably wants, oh no, it's fine, so we can make a flux point. Perfect. Which means that we can start smelting up all of the stone, which again should automatically extract from here. And when this is, when the storage system is full of stone, it should back up. Same with the sand. But you kind of can see where things are going to take a while to build up, and then eventually it'll be fine. So this should start making a ton of stone. In fact, this is struggling to keep up with it, and that's okay. And then this should okay, I don't know why it took so long for it to get power, but it did. Oh well. So that is the Cobbleworks all done. Perfect. Does what it needs to do, and now we can start working on what I want to actually do today, and that is we'll get this later. How much magma blocks do we have? We have 6. I could make those now, but we'll wait. So we'll just put that on the docket for later, and we can get rid of that. Perfect. Okay, so what we are going to work on today is Mob Grinding Utilities. So we had been getting mob essence from Enderman to spawn in blazes, and that is okay, but there's better things we can do. So the first thing that we need to look at is we're gonna want to get a monster masher. So why would we want a monster masher over something like, so I've kind of debated a bunch of things. We could do, I guess we could do a couple different methods of getting blazing blood. That's kind of the big thing that we're after, because blazing blood is needed to smelt down things like diamonds and our hepazon. There's a lot of things that blazing blood will smelt because it's hotter than lava. To get blazing blood, there are 2 ways. Either you take the skulls of blazes, so blaze heads, and you smelt them up. That makes blazing blood. That works just fine. That's what we've been doing for the most part. Or you can get blazes to go into a smeltery, and they will take damage, and when they take damage, they will give you blazing blood. That is the other option. Originally, my thought was we make a, what is it called? A soul shards? Yes, a soul shards spawner for blazes that will give us, the blazes will spawn and then they'll fall down into a giant smeltery that makes blazing blood, and that's it. And I think we're going to go a different way. We're probably still going to eventually get the soul shards spawner because they are really, really good. Much better than these spawners, which are the ones we stole from the stone dungeon. However, we're also going to need later on wither skeleton heads so that we can get nether stars. So why don't we do something that gives us mob heads a little bit easier than just burning up blazes? And that's where the mob masher and in general mob grinding utilities comes in handy, because there's an upgrade. This one right here. No, not that one. This one. It looks like a skull. It's actually smite. But this one is upgrade beheading. It gives extra chance of beheading, max of 10. So we do that, we can get these spawners, and then eventually we can still use a blaze and a wither skeleton spawner, no problem. We're going to kind of dig out some areas. That's why I wanted my hammer to be repaired. But we're going to dig out some areas for that here soon-ish. But this mod will do a lot for us in terms of getting skulls. We can also have looting. We can have sharpness to make it faster. Absorption radius. I'm not entirely sure what that does. I'm guessing... I don't know what that goes to. But, yeah, there's a lot of things. That might actually go to the absorption hopper. Yeah, range increase with absorption radius increase. Okay, so we might look into that as well later. But for now, let's get some of the basic stuff together. So in order to make the mob masher, we need all this stuff. Redstone, diamonds, iron. That's basically it. We need 8 iron swords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. And then we make iron spikes. Iron spikes are also kind of good. We're going to need 2 of these. Mobs will drop XP, but they don't count as player kills, so it's not as good as this, which counts as a player kill. If you don't know, some mobs will drop things when a player kills them, but they won't drop it when something else kills them. I think Wither Skeleton Skulls are one of those things. So this thing is really good. And basically we can set up a mob farm where things will spawn. This needs a redstone signal and it will just tear through the mobs. We can put, like I said, we can upgrade it with various things. There's a few things that we don't want per se, but like for the most part, beheading. Don't really care about arthropods. We'll do the sharpness upgrades at some point, looting. But smite and arthropods, it doesn't necessarily matter. But this thing is super good and powerful. It is a very good item and makes our lives a lot easier. So that is that quest done. Got some more chocolate cake. Perfect. I was running low. I've been mostly eating chocolate cake. Alright, so that's taken care of. The next thing I want to work towards, good or bad. Let's get both of these kind of done. So we're gonna need some chickens. And I think what we'll do is, I think actually it's in here, isn't it? No. Where is our backpack? Is it in here? Yes. Let's also grab some seeds. We're going to make a couple things. We're going to make... Oh, but those require those. Right. We only have enough to make one of these right now. We are going to go ahead and breed some chickens up. And then I'm going to grab one. Perfect. You need to go somewhere that we can kind of secure. I didn't think this through, did I? I guess let's murder it. That works. Didn't mean to do that. Whoops. Okay. So let's try this again. Let's grab another chicken. I want a full-grown chicken. That's the only, like, stipulation. And I can always get more chickens from our chicken farm. Like, that's not an issue. So let's take you off, push you into the hole, and you will stay there for the time being. So let's look real quick. XP solidifier. So we're going to need entity conveyor times 2. All right, that's easy enough. And then XP solidifier. We have a bunch of these singularity tanks. And then what goes on top? It's a piston. Let's go ahead and make a piston. Easy enough. And that makes an XP solidifier. So solidifies XP, requires a mold and fluid tank, fluid XP in its tank. Okay. So, I guess let's just put this over here for now. And how? So we need an XP mold. Okay. I know what we're going to do. Because we need to get mobs. We need to get things to actually grind. There is a few other things that we need to make first, but for the most part, we need to get mob spawning. So let's get rid of that. We are going to need this thing. And what we're going to want to do is get Dreadful Dirt. Dreadful Dirt is where we're going to excel on all this, but we're also going to want mob fans. And that is actually a quest as well. It wants us to make just one. Yeah. We're going to make 3 of these. So stone slabs is really all that it takes, but these are relatively cheap. So we're going to make, I think, 3 of them for right now. And we'll play with those in a little bit, because what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to make a room somewhere over here. We're going to have a nice open, like, open area for things to spawn, which we're going to be using that Dreadful Dirt. Does this version of Minecraft have, it's the dark glass, yeah, the tinted glass. We can use that. We don't have to worry about using a modded version of it or anything. That's kind of cool. So the last thing that we need to make a basic mob farm, and this is just for normal hostile mobs, and I don't know if this counts against this Megatorch or not. If it does, it's not the end of the world. We have other methods, but we're going to want to get 2 more buckets. So let's just go ahead and make that, because I only have 2 buckets in there, and we need 4 buckets of some sort of experience goo. Essence buckets will work. The other things that work, so we're going to be making this GM chicken feed cursed. And so there are fluid XP, essence, cognition, and raw experience. There's multiple ways. We could also grab it from that, I do believe, but this works just fine. So we need some sort of seed, spider eyes, bones, rotten flesh, gunpowder, and it makes this cursed chicken feed. And this is hey, it gave us another mob fan. Thanks, I guess. And chainmail boots. Don't need the boots. So this is what we are going to be feeding our chicken. And unfortunately, it does mean our chicken blew up. I didn't actually know that was going to happen. But that gives us a rotten egg. And then a rotten egg can be used... Ooh, hoppers. Hoppers are always nice to get. A rotten egg can be used on some dirt. A 5x5. And I want to do this in a safe place. Because this is going to make Dreadful Dirt. And Dreadful Dirt is, if you're familiar with, what was the mod? Extra Utilities, I believe is where it came from. There used to be something called Cursed Earth. And basically, this spawns more hostile mobs. It ignites if exposed to the sky in daylight. And light level of 5 and above stops hostile mob spawns. So we should be okay. I mean, I can do all that again, not too difficult. 5. 3, 4, 5. It is a 5x5 centered on where you put the egg. Let's just make sure that nothing is too dark. And presumably, we just do this, and then we can grab it with our Silk Touch. So the question I have, we're going to put this in the corner. And yeah, that in fact does spawn despite being in range of the despite being in range of our Mega Torch. So at this point, what we're gonna do is I'm going to make a room for a couple of things, and I think what I'll end up doing is I'll probably make another diamond barrel, and we'll probably also want to get an absorption hopper, and I wonder, let's see if we can make the jelly baby things. So gold nuggets, we're gonna keep these on us for right now. So can we just take a bucket of experience from this? I can. Perfect. And this is the cognitium. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's something. Let's eat some cake. Okay, so we should be able to make the mold. And then the jelly baby mold is literally just take this and do that. And if you're not familiar, jelly babies are a Doctor Who reference, I believe. And then I just want to see if we put this next to that, pushes, no, okay. I will figure that out, but what we're probably going to end up doing is making an absorption hopper and filling up an XP solidifier. And I think what we'll do actually is we'll just have a system that it automatically, this doesn't look like it requires any power. Most of the mob utilities doesn't require power. So we'll just set up a system so that it will, we need 3 obsidian. Let's get that. Alright, so I think what we'll do is I'm going to set up a drawer system, because of course, for mob drops. This is stuff that I don't really care about in terms of, like, we don't need to have it connected to the main system. It is just to store items. We could use just a diamond barrel, but we'll use a barrel of some sort to kind of pick up the items, and then we'll put them in a storage, and we'll have, you know, void upgrades and all that kind of stuff eventually. But yeah, we'll set something up for just generic hostile mobs, and we'll get experience flowing. That is kind of the big thing, so that we can finish up all this other stuff, because one of the things that this mod allows us to do is make these mob swabs. You can use on a mob to collect DNA, which you can then use to make this GM chicken feed. And this allows you to make spawn eggs. And the real purpose of it is for the entity spawner, which is fueled by solid jelly babies, and you can have all this stuff. It's kind of cool, but we can do other things with mob eggs. I don't know if it's going to work with this, but we'll find out. So I'm going to get things set up, get a room built, get storage and all that kind of stuff, and I will bring you guys back in once we're ready to set up the mob farm. Alright, so I have done quite a bit of work. So let's start with this. A little bit of an update on the Cobbleworks that we made. It is working. In fact, we are backed up on sand, gravel, and glass in the main storage system. This was not almost full of glass when I last looked at it. It was like 2 stacks. So this is almost full. Stone is completely full. Dirt's going to take a while, but dirt's going to take a while because we actually have it in a compacting drawer, and so we have a lot more dirt to make than anything else. So it's not a big deal. It's not going to be using any power, because once the glass and the stone is done, that's all that actually requires power with all this. So that is just going to kind of work in the background. I spawned in a bunch of chickens. We have a whole bunch of eggs. I have some more chickens here because we're gonna have to do some more of the chicken feed very, very soon. We have a bunch of chickens in there now. In fact, I think we can take a few. I have a bunch of stuff in my inventory. We had some upgrades for the fans when we were doing the random like rewards, so we have a few of those. I went ahead and made some stuff that we're going to need, and I built some areas. So this area was a lot closer to this wall than I expected. I'll be honest. So we're gonna put passive mobs in here eventually. And this is going to be like the mob section. We're going to have our main farm right here, and we're missing a lot of blocks, so I'll get to that in a second, but it does have plenty of space all around it so that we can do things. It is a 9x9 interior, so we can put spawners in the center, and I've marked that with a block so that we can, you know, put spawners there and not have to worry about that. I have the spots for the fans as well as something else, and this is where the mob masher is going to go. That is not how it places. And for these small stones, this is literally just stone blocks. I went ahead and made a mason table, I do believe is what it's called. This thing, Mason's Workbench. And just so you guys can see the recipe, it was very simple, so I wasn't too concerned. Just some iron, a crafting table, logs, clay, and a brick. So nothing major, but it just lets us like chisel or stone cutter some blocks and make them look different. So that's what I did. So in order to do everything I want, we are going to need to first decide. We're going to make some Minecraft tinted glass, and I want to see if I like this versus we can make tinted glass from Mob Grinding Utilities. Ooh, that is so much better. Sorry Minecraft, you just didn't make the better glass. That's fine. So let's go ahead and get like a stack of this stuff. And we'll throw everything else in there. And we don't need the amethyst anymore. So that is what this is all for. So basically we're just going to have a gigantic glass wall. And this is also tough enough to withstand withers. So withers can't break this, which will come in handy when we make this section. This is probably where we're going to make wither fighting. If we can have some blocks that don't take damage from withers. I actually don't know if we have any of those wither-proof blocks in this mod pack. We'll have to figure that out at some point. Don't see anything. Yeah, so we'll figure something out. But anyways, so there is that. We're also going to need some redstone lamps. We're gonna make 8 of them, might be enough. I actually don't know how many I need. But we are going to have lamps in this so that we can basically light up this area. That's what most of these holes are actually for. That one, this one, this one. Hey, it is exactly 8 that we needed, and it's this one. So let's make sure that it's symmetrical. Perfect. Okay, and then we can put a door down. That is the last thing. We're gonna put a door like so. Perfect. So the thing about the dreadful dirt is it does not spread. If we want more dreadful dirt, we need to get more rotten eggs, which is why I have more chickens. That is not the end of the world. Also, I think we actually want to place this. Let's see. If we make this dark, I don't know if this lets in light or not. It doesn't. It might. It might. We need to see. It is very important to know whether or not it lets in light. So we're gonna want some mob fans, and they place inwards. That is good to know. And we'll get these set up. Also, those were not supposed to be lights. So we need. Oh right, we're gonna do that. That's fine. I only think I need 3 fans. So yeah, this unfortunately cannot go there. It has to go here. And we can put it however we want, but we'll put it like that. That's fine. And the door also can't go there. Okay. That's fine, because we actually needed a fan there anyways. So, perfectly dark room. Luckily nothing's gonna spawn here. So I do need to figure out a way to have a door that blocks light. I don't know if there is anything that's going to do that or not. Something we'll have to figure out, but let's go ahead and put a light here, and these things we can show the area that they're going to affect, and what we want to see is these guys need to be 1 wider, and that is perfect actually. So there's 3 upgrades for fans: width, height, and distance. So this actually needs a single distance, and we might want to. We shouldn't need to do any height, but this guy is going to need 3. We're gonna need to have 2. Dang it! All right, that's fine. We'll put these guys here, and you know what, let's just do 3. They need 1 extra, and that should be perfect. So that is all the fan, except for the fact that they need to go 1 farther. So we need 3 distance area things. And that is fine. So we'll just do that so I remember to make it. We have that. We have the tinted glass. Alright, so the next thing we need to do, could we do a filter? I want to do... I have to remember how this works. We should be able to... do something with these, and I can't remember. A block only players can pass through. Okay, never mind. It's just the player filter. That is exactly what we need. And then we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So okay, I have to count, and it's late. It's time. I've been recording this for a while. So 1, 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, plus 5. So I need 13. So we are going to be making some create things. We actually made these create things, and I wasn't sure if we were ever going to use them, and it turns out we are. They are going to be incredibly useful. So we need 7. 7 wood, 7 logs, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with 7 brass ingots. We are going to we're going to need glowstone, sure, times 8, 9, and let's just use sugar, why not, for 6. So what we are going to do, and then we're going to also need redstone torches times 13. Or, no, times, yeah, 13. I don't know why I typed torch. We need sticks. And I think that's it. We are also going to make the absorption hopper, which means I think we need an eye of ender, which means we need to take blaze rods. And for now, I don't really care. We can just do that. We're going to get more blazes soon enough, hopefully today. This episode is getting a little long, so I'm going to try to wrap it up soon. But I want to finish this up. So we're going to make an absorption hopper. That is really important. And then we're going to need 3 of these. So 1. We need feathers. Okay, so we'll get a few more feathers. Hey, they all grew up. I think we can deal with this. Oh, then we want the player filter. Don't I have... No, I didn't make player filters. I made the baby filters or the animal filters. So we're going to need a golden pickaxe and some fence gates. And when it gets over to... If it ever gets to oak. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so this should work for what we need. Because basically I just need a way to get into here. And the easiest thing is going to be, you know what, right here. We're just going to pop down some player filters. And then that doesn't work either. Dang it. Yeah, those let light through. I will figure something out. For right now, we're just going to break in and call it a day. So, what we're going to do, luckily I can do this on the fly, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are going to strip all of these logs, and we are going to make brass casings. I don't have that on me, so we're just going to do that. And then these get redstone torches. I realized I only needed 7 of them. Duh. Okay, so we have these redstone links, and this is exactly what we need. So we are going to put these on all of these guys, and fans get sugar, lights get light. That's it. And then we should be able to sugar, sugar, light. Oh, it doesn't actually use the item. That's nice. Sugar, light. And then I forgot we do need to go around and shift right click all of these so that they are receiving. So what this is wireless redstone, and I just set all of these to the same thing. We need 2 more. These get the glowstone. I don't think we need to have 2 blocks, but it does have an opportunity for 2 frequencies. And then what we can do is we can set up this with, let's say, glowstone and a lever, and that just turns all the lights on. Oh, but these are too close. Alright, well, I will fix that. We're also going to want a lever here, so we can turn that on. That is also really important, but basically, we can turn lights on. And it's going to turn fans on, which is actually really bad. But, oh well. So now we should be able to, and I just want to see, block light is 7, that is the lowest. Perfect. So we should be able to place this stuff down and nothing will spawn. which is what I want to see. For right now, anyways. So, perfect. We gotta break out of here. I will need to do something about these, because they are going to interact. I'll probably just end up moving the fans, I'll be honest. But for right now, it's fine. And then we can also put one over here. And honestly, we might be able to put one here and do this to sugar. Also, these look like, if you ever played the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game for the original Nintendo, these look like the underwater level with all the seaweed, the explosives. Just putting that out there. So we should be able to, if we do this, turns on all the fans, everything looks good. Perfect. So I just gotta figure out how to do things. Absorption hopper, we can, I think actually we're gonna put these underneath. I'll still have to fix this, but I just want to get proof of concept, and then we can worry about things later. So what we need now is our buckets. And we need 4 buckets each. We're gonna have to make more of the rotten eggs. You know what? I'll tell you guys what. This episode has gone on very long. Let's just do this. If we turn this on and this off, and I'm gonna just break the lamp. Let's just break this. So yeah, let's just break the lamp. And we will put some blocks down. And they're already spawning in. And then I'm going to put this stuff underneath, I think. Oh no, I need the distance. We do have one distance thing, so we are going to put that in this one. And then we can presumably put this here, put the absorption hopper down. Let's see, that is south. Is items. Perfect. Let's turn our magnet off for right now. And then we could do up the fluids. And we can see the area. We can offset it north-south a couple blocks. And perfect. We could actually offset it more east-west. And then what we can do is go grab the last things that we need. For the record, these textures look weird. I don't know why. That just does. But we can grab the experience stuff. And we should be able to pipe this directly upwards. And then into this. And then turn it on, and it will make jelly babies for us. And that is a quest. Cool. So we looked at the dreadful dirt. We got a bronze paxel. We have this. It gave us Hearthstone. Obviously, we have a lot of things to do to kind of fix this. But I can turn lights on, and that should stop spawning. Those guys are unfortunately not going to do too much. And I don't know why it's not picking everything up. But I might want to get, there are speed upgrades, I believe, for the absorption radius. I don't know that we need that. It's just not picking everything up, which is weird. So I don't know what's up with that. South items. Yeah, so that is definitely weird. Oh, that's why. I just realized why it wasn't. It was getting a redstone signal from this. So I'm going to fix all this, and we will have a full thing. I will probably go ahead and let's go ahead and hide the area. Don't need to see the area. Let's turn all this stuff on so these guys will get defeated. But I'll probably go ahead and make more of the rotten eggs and fill up this area with all of the goodies of the all of the fantasticness that is the... I really wish you would just perish. I don't know why that happens, but I would go ahead and finish this up with the dreadful dirt, and then next time we can make some of this stuff, which we're actually, you know what? No, we're gonna do this right this instant because it shouldn't take too long. So let's get, for the record, the quest that talks about this is this. We need to make some GM chicken feed, and it looks like it wants us to use specifically cow. We'll do that another time, but we are going to do something obviously a little bit different right now. Also, we'll open this. Vector plates. Vector plates are also really good. They move mobs too. So let's get the GM chicken feed. And we need to get a mob swab, which is just some wool. So we can get that pretty easily. And then we need to swab a mob. And you might guess what mob we're going to use. And we're actually going to use this exact mob. So let's just go over here. Swab. Perfect. So now we have a thing of blaze. We can put this blaze back. We can grab the GM chicken feed. We'll put the swab in there, and this is blaze DNA. Okay, so that does count. And then we use it on one of these chickens.
Happy birthday, Taco!
Okay. That was interesting. We also got some feathers, which is good because we need those. No. And we have a blaze spawn egg now, which means, you guessed it, we can use some of these spawners to make blazes. And now we have a blaze spawner. So that's something we're going to use, and it is a vanilla thing. We did it with the Enderman because we got a Enderman spawn egg. So we're going to do it with the blaze as well, and we'll have a blaze spawner. So that is kind of the big thing I was trying to do. So that is going to be it for today's episode. We have gone very long. This is a very long episode. Apologies. I try not to make them super long, but sometimes we just get to doing way too much stuff. Also, it might be Darko's birthday today. I don't know. Or Darko, or whoever it is. Whoever that was talking about. I know it's one of the mod devs. I believe it's a Feed the Beast dev. But anyways, yeah, we have a few more things to do with Mob Grinding Utilities, but I'm going to finish up our mob farm off camera, kind of make some things a little bit nicer, specifically get the stuff working, and we will go from there. So let's try turn that off. And yeah, so next time we will probably do some more questing. We might start spawning in some blazes as well. We could put a blaze spawner in there and that would work just fine. But it's not going to be as good, so we might put it somewhere else. We might make a small room, and then I can grind the blazes with like the vile sword and get a spawner. So that might be what we do instead. So I think that's going to be the plan. I will work a little bit of that on that stuff off camera. For the record, the jelly babies, if you eat them, they give you experience. So that is going to be how we get levels for enchanting. And so yeah, I am going to get things hooked up and all that kind of fun stuff. And then next time we will continue working towards getting blazing blood and go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!